Please talk about freedom versus free will. This is a very interesting question. The question goes on to say, in terms of free will, there's the analogy of being on a train. We can go to the front or the back of the train. That is, we can respond positively or negatively. But we can't get off the train of our past karma. What then is the way to inner freedom? We have to understand that freedom is not a question of being able to do something that nobody could predict. It is not whimsy. There is always a direction to our striving and our efforts of any kind, and that is that we came from bliss. God is bliss, and we are all seeking bliss according to our own highest understanding. Now, that understanding may not be very high. We may think that our happiness will come. We first of all identify bliss with happiness, and we could even identify it with something less, like getting rid of misery, getting rid of shaking off the uncomfortable feeling of wrong actions and so on. And so some people will try to get rid of having gossiped unkindly about somebody by laughing, thinking that will overcome it. But mafiosi will think that happiness comes through power and through money. And many people have many definitions, but there's one thing they all want, that is happiness, which when they go more deeply into it, they understand as bliss. And so there is a certain pole star to all human behavior, which is why it becomes possible, well, first of all, God, who is omniscient, but he knows in that omniscience why and whether and when we will do this or that. To be able to be unpredictable is not free will. Free will means to be able to act without the coercion of wrong habits and ignorance and false ideas as to whether you will or will not be doing a thing that's knowable. You know, there's a book in India called the Bhrigu Samhita, and there are segments of it, and some of them are true segments and some are not. But I found a segment in India which was very interesting because it told me so many things that were really true. Somebody wrote this thing thousands of years ago. Bhrigu in the Bhagavad Gita, it says, among saints I am Bhrigu. So he was a very highly regarded saint in those times even. But he told me that I would be born in Romania, which is true, grow up in America, which became true after the age of 13. I would have two brothers, but no sister is possible, although one will die in his mother's womb. I never knew that my mother had had a miscarriage, but you can be sure that when I got home to America from India, I asked her, and she said, yes, she had had one. And it said a number of other things. It said my father named me James, my birth name was James Donald Walters, and that my guru's name was Yogananda, and that after meeting him I would become Kriyananda. And it said that in 2 months I would go back to America, and it gave a number of other things, but that anybody living that many thousands of years ago could know that the chain of circumstances would be such that this person would come to him and to get a reading from his book. It's just inconceivable. It can be said that God knows what colored tie you're going to put on every morning. You can't be free as long as you're in the ego, because you're a part of this infinite network of consciousness which manifests as many egos, the gas manifesting under many burners of a stove. So you must realize that freedom comes when you are no longer compelled by force of habit to go against that which will give you bliss. You'll never be free from God because you are God. Or to put it more exactly, God is you. So don't think that freedom is wrongly defined, but understand that when you are free of any compulsion of desire, attachment, limited consciousness of ego. This is freedom, and it's a freedom that is infinite.